Begin by making a magic circle using the tan yarn. And in that magic circle, single crochet and then chain 2. Repeat that 3 more times, single crochet, chain 2. Single crochet, chain 2, and one more time, single crochet, chain 2. Finish the round with a slip stitch. And make sure to tighten that magic circle. The first round is complete. Next, chain 1 and then flip over to the back. Locate that first corner space and single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet one more time into that corner space. Next, you'll chain 1, locate the next corner space, and single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet one more time, and then chain 1. Locate the next corner space, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, last corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, and then finish with a slip stitch. That completes the second round. Next, chain 1 and then flip back over to the front side. Locate those spaces that we made using those chain 1s and then the chain 2s in the corner. That's where we're going to be inserting our single crochets. So starting in the middle, single crochet, chain 1. Here we are to the first corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Now we're going along the side, so you'll chain 1, locate that next space, single crochet, chain 1. Now to the next corner, single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet. Now we're going along the side, so chain 1, locate that next space, single crochet, chain 1, the next corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, locate the next space, single crochet, chain 1, and that last corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, and then slip stitch. Continue this pattern. So chain 1, flip over to the back side, locate that first space, single crochet, chain 1, here's our first corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1. We're going along the side now. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. Here's the next corner. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, the next corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, the last corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and then slip stitch. So you'll continue till you have 7 rounds completed. Next, cut the yarn and then tighten that string just a little bit, and that is a completed square with 7 rounds. So for this pattern, you'll need to make 72 of these squares. 72. A lot of squares. Next, we're going to work on the strands that go up and across this blanket. So grab some gold yarn, and for this you're going to chain 142. Here's my long strand of 142 chains. Instead of working in these front loops, I'm going to work in the back loops, starting with the second back loop from the hook. You're just going to slip stitch and then slip stitch all the way down. That's all you're doing. Starting with a chain of 142 and then slip stitching into the second back loop from the hook. Here we are at the end. I like to chain 1 before cutting the yarn and then just pulling that last loop tight. So here's the finished strand. I have these nice V's on either side of the strand. So here are all the strands that I made. For the long ones, you're going to chain 160. And for the short strands, chain 142. Here's everything kind of piled together. All of my squares and all of my strands ready to go. And here's all my squares laid out. So this blanket is 8 by 9 squares, so 8 across and then 9 up and down. Here's the long strands put into place, alternating colors, dark blue and gold. And then here are the short strands, alternating colors going up and down. So this is just to show you which strand I'm starting with for this pattern. This long dark blue one. So grab a square, and I just wanted to point out that each side of the square has 15 stitches. And then here's our dark blue strand. See how the stitches kind of line up on each piece? So just put a slip knot on your hook. Insert your hook into the first stitch on that strand, and then locate the first stitch going along the side of that granny square. Yarn over and then pull through 3 strands that are on your hook. You want to keep the yarn, your working yarn, going in the back, kind of down the middle while you're doing this. So locate that next stitch on each side, inserting into both, and then yarn over and pull through 3 loops. You'll keep going, insert into the blue, and then insert into the tan, yarn over, and then pull through 3 loops. Here we are at the end of this square. So you can see we've made 15 connections there. Next, for the next 3 stitches, we just want to yarn over and slip stitch. This will allow us enough room for these strands going across. So once you've done 3 slip stitches into those next 3, now we're going to connect the next square, and it's the same process. So keep that working yarn kind of in the back. Insert your hook into the dark blue strand and then into the square. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops. And continue on. So when they're connected like this, you'll see a space in between. So here we're finishing up that second square, and then same thing in the next 3 stitches, you're just going to slip stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, and just pull that string through. Here I have the first row connected all the way down, and then to connect the second row of squares, I'm just flipping it around so that dark blue strand is to the right. So put some more yarn on your hook, and we're doing the same thing. Insert your hook into that first stitch of the dark blue strand, and then insert your hook into that first stitch on the square. Yarn over, pull through 3 loops, making sure to keep that working yarn kind of in the back. So you want to repeat the same thing here, just slip stitching into the next 3 stitches on that long strand before continuing with the next square. So here I'm just showing this, all the squares being connected going up and then back down the other way. So I'm almost done connecting all the strands. I just wanted to show an example of the gold going the opposite direction. So the pattern here is the exact same. Insert your hook into the gold and then the tan, and then yarn over, and then pull through 3 loops. And here's the last stitch of this square. And next, slip stitch 3 times. And then start on the next square. For the border, I'm going to use my gray yarn. Starting in the stitch just left of that corner, I just went right in with a single crochet. And because this is kind of a moss stitch pattern, one single crochet will go into the stitch and then the next one will go kind of in the space next to it. But essentially you want a single crochet all the way around for each stitch. And when we get to these strands, you'll want to do 3 single crochets going across, just wherever is comfortable for you to insert your hook. So once you have 3 single crochets across there, just continue on to the next square. Remember that each square is 15 stitches across, so you'll have 15 single crochets across each square, and then the 3 single crochets across the strands. For the corners are the same as the actual squares, so you'll single crochet, chain 2, and then single crochet one more time before continuing. And then here I've made it all the way around with my single crochets. I'm in the last corner, so I just chain 2 and then single crochet one more time, and then slip stitch to finish that round, and then chain 1, and in the next stitch, instead of working in those top 2 loops, you're going to locate the back loop, or sometimes called the 3rd loop, and it is right here. So insert your hook into that back loop and single crochet, and just continue that all the way around. Locate that back loop, insert your hook, and single crochet. For this pattern, I went around 3 times for the border. And here's the completed blanket. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you make one for yourself.